Hi Amanda, happy Tuesday, Wednesday, fuck. Well, hey, at least I'm thinking that it's later instead of earlier. Or at least I'm thinking it's earlier instead of later, because if you think it's later, then you're only going to be disappointed? I have no idea. Anyway, hi, happy Wednesday. Today's video comes to you in four parts, because I have four different things I want to talk about, and I could technically save one of them for Friday, but I don't really want to, so get ready for a nice long video. Thing number one, apparently people are watching this, and by people I mean like two people, but that was pretty cool, given that we haven't tagged anything and haven't shared the link anywhere and are just kind of doing this for ourselves. So hello to our two subscribers who weirdly enough find interest, no, not weirdly enough, who awesomely enough are finding entertainment in us keeping in contact with each other. So hi. Yeah, cool. The second point that I would like to bring up is that you featured in a dream of mine last night, and it was not a happy dream. Yeah, not because you were in it, but because I had a dream that I had like snake eggs all up in my hair and they kept hatching one by one, and you were there to like take the snake out before it like slithered down and I had to feel it, but I was just like knowing that it was there was so freaky, and it was like the most suspenseful dream ever. And then Bill Nye showed up, and I have no idea why. He was at a meeting with me and my like dream boss. In my dream I had a boss. I was working apparently, and we were there, and he was like trying to like, I don't know, he wanted to study me because like while I was had snakes coming out of my hair, I was also like scratching like the top of my thighs or something. And so it was like, have you ever seen a picture of like a really dry desert where everything is just like chunks because everything has cracks coming through it? That was my skin, and it was like coming off in chunks like a dry desert. And Bill Nye thought that this was fascinating, like Bill Nye the science guy. So he was there. He was kind of a dick, honestly. I wanted to say Bill and bye to him. But yeah, thanks for being a bro in my dream and taking the eggs out of my hair, or not taking the eggs, taking the snakes. But yeah, you were. Why didn't you just take the eggs before they could hatch? God, Dream You is dumb. The third thing that I wanted to talk about was kind of along the same lines as dreams, and that it's like kind of like parts beyond your control, subconscious things. I the other night, last Friday, we had this thing that was senior bar crawl, which is, if you don't know what a bar crawl is, it's just like going from bar to bar. And it was our entire senior class as kind of like a camaraderie thing. And it was an okay night, except I ran into a lot of people that I only knew freshman year, and it was like a very like highly concentrated area of guys that I never wanted to see again. It's weird. I feel the need to censor myself over the internet because you never know. But I had made a connection with someone at the bar, and we were riding the bus back together. And apparently, at one time, I had tried to call my roommate Jackie to see where she was, to make sure that I was still going home with her, because I didn't have any interest in going home with this guy. And like while I was calling her, I like, because I was a little out of my mind drunk, didn't realize that I was still on the phone, and like wound up recording part of our conversation to voicemail. I didn't find this out until today, when Jackie's turned her data back on and was like, "Hey, I have a funny voicemail from you." And apparently in it, the guy who I was with was asking like who I was calling and why I was calling her, and I explained that it was my roommate. I was calling her because I wanted to go home, wanted to go home with her, and I was making jokes about how like domestic our friendship is, because it is. Like, we spent a lot of time just like drinking and like eating and laying around in my bed and watching Supernatural together. So it's like, you know, we joke around that we're very domestic, like an old married couple. But also in this conversation, I said to him apparently that I believed that my roommate was secretly in love with me, which I don't believe at all. So it's just like kind of a funny thing where like I was initially very embarrassed, but after talking to Jackie about it and assuring her that I do not actually think that she is in love with me, we were able to laugh about it. But the interesting part of it to me is like how when, I don't know, when you're in like altered states of mind, i.e. haven't been drinking, which by the way, I'm legal, I'm 22, anyone on the internet watching this, aka the two people on the internet watching this, like when you're, for example, you're drunk, like there are various parts of truth that come together to like be untrue. And it's interesting because you could see like where those things come from. Like I often joke to Jackie herself and to my other friends about like our domesticity and like how, oh, wouldn't it be funny if like, oh, she must be secretly in love with me, but like joking things. And how like when you like there's that barrier gone, like the barrier of sobriety gone, like it just they come out in like ways that sound true. Anyway, I've been rambling about that for too long. Like, you said that you think some of the things that I say on these videos are deep, and I'm not trying to be deep at all. Like, I'm not trying to make connections, but I just, like, basically the point of that is I just think that the human brain is really weird. The last thing I wanted to talk to you about was just telling you, because you were, like, the one person that I really talked to about my novel, that I set aside some necessary self-betterment time 3 times a week at 10 a.m. to noon on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays for just like working on non-school writing, non-homework, non-studying, like taking time to just like work on Ronnie Hannigan. And so today was the first day that I did that, and like immediately like I was able to, like, I know not all days are going to be this good, but immediately I like cleaned up a lot of problems that I really wanted to, not in the actual manuscript, but for a while I told you there's just like a lot of backstory that needs to be written in terms of, you know, when you're writing fantasy, there's a lot of world building that needs to like go and, you know, that needs to make sense. I had made it happen, and I had always had a vague idea, but for the sake of being able to move forward with my manuscript and the first draft, I just like put that on the shelf and didn't really think about it. And today I sat down for 2 hours and I figured it all out, and I'm just like really happy about it. There's no moral or point to the story other than I wanted to tell you that yeah that I got that done. But yes, I will see you tomorrow, and you will see me Friday. Oh wow, it's a long week. 3 videos from me. That's a lot. I hope you're looking forward to it. Bye, Amanda.